Right.
This is historic.
Actually, we're live on YouTube as well.
This is our first live
What?
and historical.
And historical.
And historical. It's live and video and all up in your face here. I love it.
Ryan, you're going to introduce
Yeah, I just want
Ron, afraid. Be very afraid.
so evening. Jeff said, "Great, I'm instead 13 boy working to protect, grow. What's that thing? I don't know if you're the right words to use there. You run cattle, right? Know from the conversations we've had, this is really interesting. One thing we need to yes. Close to even cost. We excited about that, so I give it to you. You can maybe give us a little better intro.
Well, Ryan, I missed about half of what you said there, but I caught the
You were
very end. So
really quiet.
maybe it came back.
There we go.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
It's better.
We're gonna rising vertical.
Now I can't hear you.
You just have to talk. The camera, remember? Talk to the mic.
Oh yeah. Is that good?
That's better.
So this evening we've got Jeff Sexton.
Gotcha.
So we've got Jeff Sexton with the Highlands, Southern Illinois, an awesome group of ranchers who are working to protect the breed, working to protect the heritage of them, and just really some cool things that I think we'll get into a lot more. Really awesome intro, but I think we're really going to get into it tonight. You guys are really passionate, I know. Like I said, protecting the breed, concerns about where some ranchers and cattle folk are going with them, health and safety of the animals, kind of the purity of how y'all handle them, take care of them. Happy and excited to have you on the show. I know you're coming out to the Highland Games, February 7th and 8th. You're going to bring a couple, Floki and Ragnar out. Looking forward to that too. So
That's great. Awesome.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, first and foremost, it's great to be here. Am I loud and clear? You guys hear me okay?
Yes, that's great.
Good to go. Okay. So really appreciate it. I think this is a super interesting podcast that you're doing, and glad to be a part. It's really interesting, Ryan, how we hooked up and at the Highland Games, and then we are like, well, wait a minute, we want to be involved in that. Highlands for us have kind of turned into a whole focus for our family, at least my wife and I and my mom, and the whole family's involved to some extent. So we've been at this game for about 5 years, pretty short period of time. 5 years ago, we didn't have a fence post up. We didn't own a cow. Today, we have about 70, and we have probably 9 different paddocks, and we are continuing to scale. And I think every day that we do this, we learn how much we don't know about doing this, and it's been quite a journey. So we've learned some, and we certainly have kind of some ideas and perspective from that we've developed that we're proud of, but we're really learning from many others as well. There's a lot of great breeders out there for Highland cattle. It's kind of a niche market, but it's a really close knit, especially kind of more the significant breeders across the states and worldwide. And we kind of follow the American Highland Cattle Association, AHCA, and they kind of set some standards and articulate. They have a great quarterly magazine, and there's a lot of really good information out there. So we're just happy to be a part. We love the breed, and happy to talk about anything you guys want to talk about associated with Highland cattle.
So, I mean, can you give us the backstory? How did this all start? How did it kick off? Um, really, just kind of interested in what your original vision was and how Highlands came into the picture.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we had some land here in Southern Illinois. We bought the initial 40 acres 10 years ago, and then we added on as land became available. And COVID hit, right? 2020. Throughout that first part of the year, I think everyone was trying to figure out, what the world was going to look like. We had added additional acreage, which we use basically for hunting and fishing and we boat and ski and those types of things, kind of more of a vacation. We we ended up relocating here, and then we wanted to do more with the land, and so my wife and I started looking into different things to do with the land. We have it's reclaimed strip mine ground for the most part, so it's very rocky. It's reclaimed a long time ago, say 60 plus years, but it's very rocky. So as far as like planting and any kind of row crop type thing, that was all out. Didn't want to do that anyway, but that's really not an option for us. And so we started looking at cattle, and she found Highlands after doing a lot of research. So it's 5 years ago, we went to visit a ranch to buy or to look at, maybe not buy, look at two heifers. We left and bought a bull and four cows. So that's how we started.
So it goes. You go there with the intention of one or two things, and your wife goes, "No, let's get these four and these two and these three." Yeah.
Actually, it
We
was the
came
other
here
way.
for
She
some
was
milk and we left with cows.
there. You go. It was the heifers. Were great. They were 6 months old, and but I said, why don't we just go make those, right? So instead of buying those, because they're very slow in maturation, and and we would need to get a bull anyway. We wanted to kind of do it the natural way. And there was a bull there, Everett, ZR Everett. He's our number one bull. He's a Silver Highland. That's him right here. That's his headshot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's got a big docent on him. He's a highly we got really lucky and highly sought after bull, and we got four original great cows, and just kind of went from there. And we've learned a lot through the process. But I'll tell you, it's been a joy. It's been a lot of work. Had to learn how to fence. Had to learn how to do everything, and it's been quite a journey.
That's that's pretty cool. Pointing out the pictures, one of the things I really like about y'all's social media presence, y'all have some phenomenal pictures. Right. So for anybody that likes Highland cows,
Yeah,
that just go to your website. Go to your website, go to your social media. Um, you guys stopped me in my tracks with the photography. Is that like who's that? Is that the wife? Is that
that's
you?
that's my better half, man. That's
Man,
Tanya. That's all
that's
Tanya.
talent, man.
Yeah,
You guys need to put up prints and put them on church or something. They'll just have some really good shots, and it comes from
yeah.
a space that, like, looking at the quality, it feels like y'all really, really care, and you're capturing these really great moments that, like I said, I've really enjoyed most of those moments. Really just good interview.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's all her. All the social media is her as well. So I'm kind of I'm the ranch hand more. Not that's not true. It's a partnership, but the high quality stuff comes from her.
Is there so I know in some of the talks we've talked about iterative approach, um, how you rotate. I'm really interested in
Yeah,
tool that works on the really rocky land and spaces you're talking about. I mean, that's not
yeah,
typical for anything we see. I think is all about cows are on green pasture, right? Or big chase because I know his family has
Have
a lot of cows.
Zebu's, and yeah, those are the oldest cattle brand in the world. Zebu.
You sure that's not an African thing?
Yep. And not a Zebu. Zebu. But yeah, like Ryan is saying, they're on flat green ground grass. Like they're not gonna
yeah,
run around in complete terrain like your Highland coos.
yeah. It's I think with the nature of our ground, Although, in Southern Illinois, we're certainly not the Highlands of in Scotland. So, but it's not flat. Everything, we're kind of in that hilly, we're close to, um, we're about as close to Kentucky as you can get. So we're pretty far south. Um, and we have a national forest that we kind of border. And so, when you kind of look at the nature of the ground and the nature of the forage as well. So we have a very diverse forage, right? We don't have lush green pastures. It's rough. And highlands thrive in that type of environment. They do better with a mixture and a variety of grasses, even weeds. And so, we've been able to kind of provide an environment that they flourish in. And then we bring in hay, so we don't hay our fields. We get hay from local. I have a local partnership, and we get hay, and we are very focused on the kinds of grasses and the protein content associated with the hay to make sure that we're then supplementing, what they're getting in the fields as well. So our whole program is all around grasses, right? First and foremost, cattle aren't supposed to eat grain. They're not made to eat grain. It's not what they're supposed to eat, right? When you look at a piece of meat and you see just total white fat, that's human intervention. That's not natural. So if it's got a little bit of a yellow tint to it, right? If it takes a little bit longer to render that fat down, that's nature. So we've learned so much going through this process, and then you learn so much about kind of the commercial beef industry as well, and then kind of really kind of makes us even want to do it as pure as possible. So we don't, our land, we don't use any chemicals. We've done a little bit of overseeding, but not much. And we cut, so we cut our fields, we cut out the weeds. Like if you cut your lawn, you cut out the weeds, you end up with just grass, right? So we cut, which most don't do that, and then we move the cattle around so that we can kind of work out the cutting and then provide them with enough to graze, and then we supplement with hay. And we supplement with hay kind of year round. We don't go as hard in the summertime, but it'll rain heavy, and then we'll have some drought. Like the weather conditions seem to get more and more extreme. So we kind of just work it into our annual program, and I think that has really um, we found that works for us. There's a few other things that we talk about associated with what that does for the land. But the cattle seem to listen. You go through our fields, you look at all 70 of our cattle. We don't have a skinny cow, and we are not feeding grain, and they've never had a growth hormone at all. In the commercial beef industry, I think the average is about 6 growth hormones before that animal ends up on a plate, which is just crazy to me. And so without the antibiotics and without the growth hormones and without all the stuff that man does to impact that animal, and you let that animal flourish in a natural environment, it ends up working out. You got to have some patience though.
So I see that, and then working, it's something you learn overnight. It's something you're learning. Uh, what were some of the big lessons that you learned with house, and the hard one that taught you really takes to build an ecosystem like that? You kind of natural, and trying to have human intervention as possible. Just let the animal do what it's instinctually bred to do. So what are some of those stuff that you learn?
Yeah. And you're breaking up a little bit, but I think I got the gist of it. So multiple things. Um, a couple things that I think we end up have done differently, and we've, I think the biggest thing is visiting others, right? Going to other ranches and seeing what's working for them, seeing what they do, and there's this ecosystem around Highlands that is really strong, which is awesome. It doesn't mean that we agree with and we're going to do the same things, but I think the learnings that are there are really awesome. One of the things that most ranchers do that are into cattle game is that they expose the cows to the bull at a particular for a particular period of time, and because they're trying to calve either in the spring or in the fall, and they're trying to drive that calving to be, as much of that at the same time as possible. They're avoiding the hot weather. Try to avoid the super cold weather. They try to avoid fly season, which we all deal with flies in the cattle game. Um, but when we went in with that intent, but the moment we took our bull from our fold, so in Highlands it's called a fold, um, his attitude changed, the disposition of the fold changed, which we expected on the fold side of it. But he basically got depressed, and we had him with other steers. He didn't respond in the same manner. I mean, this is a bull that I get next to on combing and petting, and he goes by. He knows his name. He comes right up to me. You still got to remember he's a bull, but he was just a joyful, and he's kind of the patriarch of you will of our herd. So um I said, you know what, screw this, we're going to put him right back in, and we put him right back in, and we have not pulled him out since. And now we have two other bulls, and we also leave them with their foals. What happens though is that we end up having calves at different times of the year. We can't just plan it all, and so that means we have to show some flexibility. Again, why was it planned? That was a human thing to make life easier on us, not on the animal. So if they're in a natural environment, they're going to breed when they breed. And what we found is that they still end up kind of breeding. The majority of it ends up breeding to where it's calving in the spring and calving in the fall, because they know the off months, they're not as successful in the breeding. So I don't know that we have the right answer there, but it's working for us. And we're up to 70, about 20ish of those are steers. So we're about, between cows and calves and three bulls, right around the 50 mark. But we're able to make it work so far. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons that we learned. But we saw that the animals will tell you what they need, and their attitude and disposition is so awesome. And then when you see something change, something's off. So why not just go and address that? And if that's harder for us, so be it. Can't hear you.
Angus, and same thing. He would come up to the bull, 1,200-pound black Angus, and he'd scratch him under his chin, and he's got his
Yeah.
big old head laying on him. Now, that's different with black Angus because the Highland Crews, they're a dual purpose breed. They're beef and milk, which is pretty rare today. How do you see that heritage showing up in the cattle that you raise?
Yeah, we've thought about trying to do the milk, the dairy side, but Tanya Tanya's my wife, better half. She just does not want to take that nutrient away from the calf. So we leave our calves on, at least 6 months. And so if we were going to get into that game, we'd have to pull that calf, and be taking and be harvesting that milk for again our consumption, or try to make cheese, or some monetary. Um, so I think so far our decision is that we're not gonna play that game. But they are a dual purpose breed. I mean, the original herds back in Scotland, they used them for both. So primarily beef, but also for milk as well. And the milk is it's got a we have had some tasting. It's an acquired taste. And the beef, again, now that I'm completely 100% all in, on the beef. And now I can't eat other beef, and I will not buy beef at a grocery store. But I have a hard time, even with. There you go. Let's have some beef. There you go.
Segue. Is that what I put in now? This plate filet mignon from your cow is just emanating right here by my face.
So,
That's awesome.
something that's interesting about this is, are you going to cut him a slice?
Yeah, you got a couple knives and forks.
One of the big things with the Highland Games and the Scottish community, these cows are amazingly cute, right? They're a
Yeah.
very friendly breed, I think, is my understanding, at least from what I've experienced. It's not like the average cow in a herd, and they're known and loved for their cuteness and being petable and socializing. Let me tell you, when we first started thinking about eating this meat, these cows that we're used to looking at, they're so cute, lovable. We went through a lot of questions. We're like, man, is this right? Is it wrong? But this cow, this breed, this breed's been around for thousands of years.
yeah.
And it was utility as well as family. And so that's why I'm really excited about this podcast. But I'm excited to see y'all's thoughts on the flavor of this. I've had it.
Okay.
Y'all haven't. Shut up for a second
Yeah.
and let you taste.
So this was cooked in a stainless steel pan with
Well,
literally
there's
just
two there.
Amish butter, black pepper, Celtic sea salt, and garlic. And I do put a little cayenne pepper just about a little cayenne. So here we go.
Did you really just put a giant piece?
Uh-huh.
I did.
Like you didn't even try a small one.
No.
It's like half of it.
No, it was really low.
Mm. It's so soft.
It is.
It is so soft. It is so good.
I mentioned this to Jeff earlier. I was like, the texture almost seemed like a tuna steak. It's so it's so smooth and velvety.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They call it,
That is
so,
fantastic.
Two thumbs up, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
oh
saying
no, that's great.
Excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome. They refer to the texture or to the fibers of the meat as angel hair. Like, so Highlands have this thinner fibers in their meat.
Mhm.
So, again, slower to mature. It's a deeper taste. It's a beefier taste. I like to taste beef. I love fat. Fat tastes good, right? So I want fat in there, but I want a flavor of beef. I don't want the flavor of fat. And then that texture, I think, is really differentiated. So there you go.
One of
Red
the things
breast.
one of the things I noticed with this, I'm glad we're starting this.
Yeah.
So,
I need some stuff.
dude, especially to go with that great
Yes.
cut, right? So far we have ground beef. My wife loves it. So she's half Syrian, half Scottish, and she has this dish that her dad used to cook that is essentially wheat and ground beef and a bunch of different spices. And she's eaten it a lot over the years, but the first time I made the ground beef, she's just immediately thrown back to that taste of what real meat, real good meat used to taste like when she was a kid, when we were kids. And man, it's just been delicious. It's just been delicious. I don't think I've had a steak that tastes like this in a long, long time. I actually took so we've got somebody that's really close to us, right down the way. Um, Grass fed, organic, really good meat that we buy from them. They're out of the farmers market too. But where that steak tasted amazing to me before, side by side, that one tasted empty. So, folks, if you want a good steak, try this thing out. If you don't want to be able to eat steak from the grocery store,
Yeah, stay
don't
away.
have to think.
I have to say that's probably one of the best bites of beef I've had in a very long time. And like, I can't eat a ton of it. Just got issues with it. Can't eat a ton.
Would you?
And freaking with.
I thought you were gonna do yours.
And so, like, when I have beef, it's got to be very intermittently. And I'll tell you what, this would wreck. I'd be eating it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, and that doesn't help if you have gout. Don't taste this meat either.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm looking at it like, I'm gonna go buy a buck. No, don't do that.
Are you,
Not with the red breast. Save one.
I know you've had the red.
Yes, I've had the red breast. I've had the
Considering
dram.
it.
Yes, I have.
Jeff, you can hear me now. So I've also had some really good Wagyu fillets, and
Yeah.
the Wagyu fillets are a different animal, and if done right, are delicious. But there's something about the flavor profile and the texture of this that I'm hooked on. Man. I love it.
That's
Where
awesome.
can
That's awesome.
someone buy this meat?
Yeah,
You know, the
what's
different
your
cut, the different cuts are, you know, so it would really be cool to try the different cuts, which, you know, absolutely have the opportunity to do here. But you know, the ribeye is, which that's not, I don't think you guys are eating ribeyes right now. I think you got some fillets and some strips. I'm not sure
yeah,
if you had
yeah,
ribeyes.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is
Um,
the fillet. We were gonna originally go with the ribs, but went with the fillet instead of your recommendation. And this is just delicious. If we got the ribs in there, I'll have to make sure the guys get some.
so
Cop.
this book, Steak,
Forgot.
you guys ever seen this book?
No, I have not seen that book.
Mark Schatzker.
No. No.
So he goes around the world. He's in search of the perfect piece of beef, and guess what he lands on? Yeah, a Highland ribeye. So he has a few that he likes, but it's amazing. It's a great read. Knows a whole bunch about meat, much more than I do. But it's pretty cool that he calls out Highland ribeye. So and even off of a more aged animal as well. You know, when you go to if you look into some of the restaurants in Scotland that serve Highland, they what I've read, I haven't visited yet, but what I've read is that they let those animals age, you know, much longer. So in the US and, you know, maybe beyond the US, they're trying to get animals to slaughter, you know, before 30 months. And I think that that's kind of a that contradicts the nature and the kind of patience that you need to show to get really a quality taste of meat, you know, out of a Scottish Highland.
So, so you and I, we've had a bunch of conversations. You talked about that they're rushing to get these meat to production, and or they're not letting them mature.
Yeah.
And I've got my opinions about that. With like when you look at a lot of our vegetables, right? Some of the broccoli that we have, if you let broccoli go wild, it goes nuts. Same thing with fennel. Same thing with a lot of these different things that you eat. Chives. If you take chives and you stick them in the ground outside your house, and especially in the winter, you come back out, they're going to be 3 or 4 feet tall. They're going to be an inch and a half round. They get big, and the taste is so very different. Why? I mean, why the difference between the age and time frame? Between conventional and other ones. And actually, I'm sorry. Let's cheers real quick. Jeff, you're not drinking tonight with us. I expect that. Gentlemen, cheers. We're excited to have you on.
Thank you.
How about your nose? Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Red breast is so good.
Oh.
The 12-year with that has to be good.
I used to not like red breast. And this goes back to that talk of I think our tastes have changed.
Yeah. Well, we'll also eat a lot of venison and kind of used to like a gamey taste. And I'm just putting this out there. I was kind of half expecting maybe a little bit of a gamey or more irony or something like that, but not at all. It's very flavorful. It's juicy. It's cooked to perfection. And with this red breast, yeah, with this red breast, it's so nice. It complements it swimmingly.
So, hats off to the chef. Cheers.
Thank you, gents.
So yeah, Jeff, can you tell us more about that lifespan thing? The conventional going at a certain age. Highland, you guys are giving them 3 or 4 years, I think you said, before they go to become pathologists.
Slaughter. They go to slaughter.
I know they go to slaughter.
Yeah. Well,
process.
yeah. I think so a couple things. One is that we're not doing it just based on an age. So that's not our approach. If you get over 30 months, there's you can't cut bones. So there's you miss cuts. So I can't get T-bones. You got to take the whole spinal column out of the animal and everything that impacts. That's the gist of it, all based on mad cow disease, which was I don't want to necessarily go down this path, but I think has been utilized to be able to drive timing in commercial beef. And as long as your cattle are below 30 months, you're good. And mad cow disease came about because they were feeding cows cow, and rather than just implement a rule that says, hey, don't do that, they said don't do that, but then they said, well, let's also just make sure because and here's the time frame that we're going to just say anything below this month. So what happens is that in the big beef industry, which is 96-97% of the market is controlled by 4 or 5 companies. They're just getting them as big as they can, as quick as they can, and even when you have grass-fed, pasture raised, and even potentially grass finished, the slaughter process, they're still shoving most of the time, not everyone, but they're still putting animals on a trailer and taking them somewhere where they're getting stressed out and freaked out, and we're just, so rather than talk more about that, the way that we're trying to do it is to keep it as natural and as clean as best we can. And we're evaluating the animal based on its stature. I mean, we have different sized Highlands, naturally pure, purebred. They're different sizes, and you can kind of look at the animal. You start to get a little bit of a knack for that, learning, talking to others, and then just watching the animal and picking when it's time to move that animal on. And when we go, we take 2 at a time. So they got a buddy, and if we have enough business where I have to do that twice a week, I'll do that twice a week. And it's only about a 35-40 minute drive. And I don't take them the night before. I take them the morning of. They're only there for a very short period of time, and they're expired, and so they don't get stressed out. They don't get freaked out. It keeps the life of that animal as perfect as we can, other
Very
than just
humane,
harvesting on the ranch.
Yeah.
So
They've got,
from an
there's,
aging perspective, though, go ahead.
no, fine, pretend. Jeff, what were we saying about the aging perspective?
Yeah, from the aging perspective, uh, I think it's just a rule that doesn't make any sense to me, to many others as well. And we're just not trying to focus on just that 30-month thing. We're trying to just look at the animal and make a decision based on that. We've had some that kind of look like they mature much quicker, but I think for the most part, it's a slower maturing process, and especially if you're not then shoving grain in them, and they're actually just eating forage and grass and hay and what they're supposed to, then it's going to take a little bit longer.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
know we're focused on the beef side, but the breeder side of this thing, the animals, what's really cool about Highlands is it's a long living animal. 18 plus years. Some can breed for up until that age. Uh, and that's super cool. I mean, they're so hardy as it relates to the weather, the environment. They calve without. We have not had to help once, so no pulling. Our birth weights are anywhere from, I don't know, I think the average is maybe 50 to 60 pounds, maybe some in that range. Um, they're just really, really an awesome breed. Super intelligent and hardy. I would classify a Highland like a mountain man, and I would classify an Angus like a bodybuilder. You know,
Yeah.
and they both come from Scotland. Scotland created Angus too. They created Angus in the lowlands and in a more of a controlled environment with green pastured grass. So they're just not set up to, you can still pasture raise and grass finish and treat them, and they're an awesome animal, but it's not a Highland. They don't have the hair. So when the weather changes, they regulate based on their fat layer on the outside. Highlands regulate based on thicker coat. So they thin out and when it's hot, and they thicken up when it's cold. And so there's more consistency. So part of the whole thing about breeding all year round, is that we can finish and have beef steers all year round as well, because they're not going through that same bodily change. Maybe a little bit, but it's not the same because they have the hair. So it's just really interesting, the things that we're learning and what we think makes a difference, not only into the quality of the breeding program, but also the quality of the beef.
And what is their gestation? Is it 9 months like an Angus?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's pretty consistent. 9 months.
Yeah.
So when you're talking 18 years ago, I mean, that becomes a member of the family.
Yeah.
And I know y'all care a lot talking about how
Yeah.
much you're trying to preserve them, you're driving them at an extended time frame. So when they do go to slaughter, they're not stressed out, which I know has a really negative impact on the animal. I think both emotionally as well as what it does to their system and the taste of meat. There's a whole thread, but yeah. How was that process for you? I mean, is that you didn't grow up with this where it was really normal, right? Like you got tech background, and then you got into this, and how did that impact you? Having to in these animals, take them to butcher, and knowing that these animals you care about. I just like how do you deal with that? How does that impact you guys? How do you manage that?
Yeah, it's a great question. When we first started, it was just with the intent to breed and sell, heifers. Um, and my wife Tanya, again, the better half and the brains behind the operation, um, was not on board with regard to the beef side of it. But I think the more we learned and we started to really appreciate the nature of the animal, um, we just said, this is the right thing to do. And I mean, that's what honors the animal, right? I mean, that's their purpose. So, can we provide them an awesome life? Can working with them help us, have an awesome life as well? And then, truly treat them for the purpose that they're there for. Now, one thing we did do, the first two steers that we had, they were named Smith and Wesson.
I love
Uh,
it.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
one thing we learned is don't name your steers. Other than now, we have named the steers, Ryan, that we're going to bring to the Highland Games, but they got to pass. They've got to pass. They're going to become representatives of the ranch and just be kind of pet animals. They're not going to go into our beef program. That doesn't mean that one day, that when they get much older in life, that they won't be beef, but they get a pass for now. So, and every other animal that's a steer, we're only doing this with steers so far, right? We have not processed a cow or an aged animal, so it's only been steers for us thus far, and that's our intent. That's our goal, as long as possible. And then we're going to make the decisions on the breeder cows when they get up. If they get old or sick or something happens, we'll make that decision at that time. There's a few that are going to just be buried. I guarantee you that Everett won't be eaten. He'll definitely be buried. And but it is tough though. But numbers are a lot easier. So then we started with number one. I think we're up to number. I don't know what number we're up to right now, but then we refer to them as numbers. That does not mean that we're not still interacting with them, but it's not the same level of interaction as we have with our breeder cows.
Where can someone purchase this delicious meat?
Well, we have it. We're still kind of ramping up. We have DakotaRanchHighlands.com, and on the website we have boxes available. Um, and we're trying to get it set to where you can just kind of pick and choose. But we have to. It's kind of tough, if I just sold, you know, strips and ribeyes and fillets, and then you get stuck with a whole bunch of burger. So we're trying to have like rancher boxes and kind of incentivize that, get folks to have a taste of the meat, and that's what's out there today. But we are going to open it up a bit. And if anybody wants something custom, or just want to place an order or get some advice on maybe a good sampler to have that's not on the website, they can just send us an email or give us a call. So very personalized. We're not
Yeah.
even if we scale to everything we want to be, we're only going to have a certain number of customers. This is not something that we're not going to win on price per pound. What we're trying to do is have a personalized approach. We want a customer for life, and we want to provide the best tasting beef you've ever had. That's what we're trying to do.
And I'll tag into that. I think I want to make sure those animals have the best life they have. Everybody said that. And I think that's probably, to me, I'm assuming part of the strategy of not growing too much, as well. I'm gonna have to email you about a custom because we've been having trouble trying to figure out which one ourselves. So
Yeah.
we go with
Yeah.
the one that has all the ground beef because Jen kills some ground beef and does a bunch of, like I said, that dish that's kibe, and she did one that had pine nuts in it, and I think your favorite herb, cilantro.
Oh yeah, it's not coriander. If you send me some ground beef, I'm making smash burger. Highland food smash burger.
We need to
There
do
you
that
go.
for
That's awesome.
for Cyrus's birthday.
There you go.
Just get a bunch
Well, I'm already thinking Christmas presents, honestly, like my dad or something, like getting them some boxes.
There you go.
I'll be probably reaching out though, because I know you like some ribeye in there, so I'll be asking for a little personalization. I'm happy to pay the price after eating.
Are you gonna put it under the tree and let it defrost?
No, I'll just have it driven. I'll just have it shipped right to him, so he knows it's coming. I'll make sure that he knows it's coming because he travels a bit. So I'll have it to my sister.
And they ship quick too. It's like what, 2 days? I think it's 2 days FedEx. Comes in a box.
Yeah.
It's all insulated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just it's been really.
We found that we can do 2 days without using dry ice. We've only had a couple of challenges if something gets delayed on a truck, that type of thing. We have a FedEx distribution center close to us here, and we're kind of in the middle of the country, so it's worked out.
You won't have to ship too far from my dad. It's in Nebraska, so that's
there you go.
it's next door.
Yeah.
So, how did you enjoy the red roast? I know you killed yours already because we had to delay a little bit. We're sitting over here starting to enjoy it ourselves.
I enjoyed both.
yeah.
I wasn't too sure about the. Have you started tasting the second one yet, or is it you just doing the red breast?
Yeah, it's just the red breast. Well, I think we're gonna pop the Jura in a minute. Is that the one you weren't sure about?
The other one I wasn't sure about, and I enjoyed that as well. Yeah, the red breast went pretty quickly.
Did you drink it with any of the beef?
Oh yeah, we pretty much have beef every day. So absolutely.
So when I was talking, I think when I was talking to him one time, he's like, "Yeah, my diet's pretty much just beef and whiskey," and I'm like, "Dude, where do I sign up?"
Yes.
You become a rancher and you live that lifestyle.
No offense to any religion. I don't need 73 virgins. If you tell me I can go somewhere and have beef and whiskey every night, I'm set.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was really interesting. Pulled really well. I don't like it as much out of the
Rum taster.
No, I haven't done the rum taster yet. I liked it better out of the rocks glass.
The rum taster was outstanding. It honestly tasted like a cake.
I'm smelling it.
From the cake. Not a little bit of a caramel like creme brulee. Yes.
Yeah.
It was like taking a bite of this delicious meat and then having a piece of cake next to it. It was awesome.
So it's something we do here, Jeff. We're super weirdos. We do a rocks glass, just a normal glass, and then we do the Glencairn, or as Chase likes to say, Glencairn.
Glencairn. I don't understand how I'm saying it different, but we're gonna go.
That's all right. Tell me about pickles later.
Yep.
And then we've got this other glass. It got experimental and weird. This is actually a rum tasting, and it's designed to like change how the flavors are opened up and the taste. And so one day we were like, oh, I wonder what it tastes like with whiskey. And it's really weird because it'll flip it around, like you were saying, really sweet. And I smell it too. Like this smells like
a pound cake.
It smells like a pastry shop.
Yeah.
So
I
it,
love sweet.
it really opens up the flavor. It changes the flavor profile completely. And with this, it's like almost having 3 different whiskeys.
Yeah.
Out of a single bottle. It really will present itself differently to each glass.
I don't mind using.
What's similar. What's interesting on the beef side of it, dry aging and the amount of time that you dry age changes the flavor profile completely.
So,
And
so
we're experimenting with that. And we've done 14 days, 21 days. I think we did one a little bit longer than that. So we're trying to, it's going to be an ongoing
Hi, Chase.
exploration.
we camera down.
I see.
Episode 1 of our first live, stuff's bound to happen. We're gonna need a new network connection. We're gonna have to duct tape your
Dogs in the bedroom.
oh, they're podcast, man.
No, duct tape that camera off, I think is what he's getting. So with you have trying the dry age stuff, right? Like, do you prefer it dry age now, or do you just
What?
still prefer your fresher kind of meat? Just out of
Oh, no,
curiosity.
no.
Like it's just I know
Yeah,
it's preference.
the steaks that you all just tasted were dry aged for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
How are you guys dry aging them?
that's with our processor. So
Okay.
once it's just how long they hang in at the proper temperature with the right air circulation. Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that say you can do it in your fridge. I don't know if I would do it in my fridge, but
You can. It's just you got to make sure you have good ventilation around it. You can't just sit it
Yeah.
and then stick around it. You almost have to have that
Yeah.
shelf clear or just other people around it.
have you guys ever seen? There are people that do that, the dry aging, but they put it in basically a big freezer that's just covered in, the red salt bricks.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
I want one. I don't know that I'm into dry aging that much, but I feel like I'm weird enough that I want my own walk-in salt freezer to dry age and stuff.
We're going to show up at Ryan's one day. He's going to have a dry age thing like that, like a little dry age cave. He's going to have a $3,000 Traeger smoker out back. He's going to go all in when he does this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Theoretically, I could convert that Costco. My wife's gonna be mad because it's supposed to be where all the stuff goes to get out of the garage, so she can continue expanding her, her coaching business in the garage. But now I'm like, dude,
Just get another shed. That's the answer. That's the correct answer on this, Ryan. Don't anger the wife. That's going to be all I'm going to say there. People see Ryan and they see big, scary red beard. No, it's not him that you have to be afraid of. Jen,
It's the missus.
it's all the misses. She's a wonderful person.
Mhm.
She will knock you out if you step too far up.
so we had an encounter in Publix one day, and I was super hungry. I had the sushi that was sitting on the dashboard. Sorry, Jeff, do you know what a Publix is?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, okay. That's right. I know y'all were down here for a while. I just don't know if they have Publixes up there in Illinois.
They don't, but grocery store.
Look, when I moved up to the Northwest, I saw some stuff I never heard of before.
Fair.
So
AGB.
I didn't know what it was, right? And I didn't even know. I was shocked that there was one Albertsons, and so nobody in the Pacific Northwest has fried chicken. They're like, no, that's not around here. But when I drove by that Albertsons, I smelled fried chicken. When I did a U-turn in my Firebird, like I'm not even kidding. I went back into Publix. They had fried chicken, and I bought like 3 or 4 boxes, and was excited. And I would drive by like weekly, and I'd get my fried chicken fix.
Nice.
Like
That's fine.
you don't know the things you love until you leave it behind sometime.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, fried chicken was one of them. When you go to a place that doesn't have a good hamburger and they think a salmon with capers is a good swap, it's not. It's a good salmon is good.
Now
It's a good exchange.
Now it's that impossible bullshit. And
Impossible.
do not put that in front of me and say that's a burger.
Have you tried it?
I have smelled it, and I have known that there are 1,000 different processes that make it patty and all the bullshit and the binder and everything. And there's no way it's better for you than
Oh,
what I
no
put
way.
in my mouth.
No way at all. I've tried it. I'll be honest, it's not as good.
Well, then they have to put beet juice to make it look bloody.
Yeah. Well, and I have
Damn burger.
yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah.
I'm stomping my foot.
And Jeff's over here laughing at us about it, like
Oh,
I'm sure
no.
he's got his own
Right.
take on the impossible
This is
side
like
of
the
things.
vegans that want cheese.
Eat the
Eat
cheese.
the cheese. Well, no, we had to use almonds and coagulants and. I'm like, dude, go eat your carrot.
Yeah. Yeah. Chew on your paper and get out of here.
Go chew on your carrot. Enjoy your vitamin B12,
Deficiency.
Yeah.
deficiency and your iron deficiency, while saying this is the way, the truth, and the life, and sounding like you have your own religion. Sorry.
And
People try to eat meat.
I think a lot of them actually don't realize how negative an impact
They don't.
that they just think they're saving, a cute cow. Where when you grow veggies and stuff like that. I'm from Nebraska, like I said, and the amount of chemicals that go down on a field to grow corn or to grow any sort of vegetable or soy, right? They grow a lot of soy as a rotation crop. That's everything. There's not a cricket, a beetle, a worm, anything within that field.
A mole or a vole.
Mole. I mean, groundhogs. Well, groundhogs are just fun to hunt. Now, let's be honest.
Prairie dog.
Prairie dogs. 1,000-yard shots are a standard out there. But it's just you wipe out everything.
We're trying to shoot a prairie dog at 1,000.
People do it
That's
out in the Midwest. Yeah,
awesome. That's just great.
and they since it is destroying fields, it's pest control, so people
It
actually
is.
pay for it.
Yeah.
Because it's actually easier to get them from a far distance than it is up close.
Yeah, because they'll
Because otherwise you have to tear up the field to get.
they'll pop down when you get close, but they'll pop up and you see them. When you shoot, you look through the scope, and then
It just
they just go.
So I don't think they realize the damage they're actually doing to the environment. Where I think raising beef and because let's be honest, yes, meat is one of the things we use out of the beef. What else do we use from a cow? We use their bones. We use
Bones
all
for
the
collagen.
skin. Yeah.
For collagen.
Well,
They're for coats.
so my wife is doing strength training and postpartum fitness, pregnant women, pregnant, postpartum, every portion of the cycle. And so she's always talking about the different aspects and the different pieces of health and nutrition throughout this whole process, folate, B12, MTHFR gene, she calls it MFR gene, which means that you methylate things differently. It's called a genetic mutation. I don't agree with that or not. I think that's just a different thing, right? Some people can drink milk, some people can't. That doesn't mean it's a mutation. I'll stick away from that argument. But the whole point with that is that we just found out that so women postpartum have issues regulating their hormones. There is quite literally an ingredient in beef liver. It's highest in beef liver, but it's present in all liver that fixes that. It fixes that issue for progesterone, right? Progesterone in men and women is part of the hormonal cycle, right? So whether you have men, it should convert to testosterone, right? High progesterone does not mean a bad thing per se, unless it's not converted. Women can be the same problem. You can have high progesterone. Women typically are low because they convert over to estrogen easier. It just converts easier. But my point with that is that we found out that you can quite literally fix that with meat. So we made a huge thing of pate last night, 2 pounds, or a couple nights ago, 2 pounds of pate.
And I didn't get invited.
Dude, I have 2 pounds of pate.
Liver.
Really?
I love that.
Bro, I'll bring you some. It's like I'm sitting in my office and got a little glass jar. I open it, put a carrot in. I go, can I put the lid back on? I want the smell just like going everywhere. But like that's it's just really interesting that there are so many things, and I'm not gonna champion like the carnivore diet, but there's so many things that point toward the, heme iron is the most easily digestible version of iron. And if you really look back through almost every culture in the world, one of the very single point things you can see in their religions is they almost always had a cow that was revered. So the Norse, Umla, the cow that was the creator, came out of the ice, licked the ice, and everything else was born out of that. You see cows revered in India. You see them revered in the United States, in South America, and it's all over the place. We have a special relationship now. I think it's interesting that we're just in this modern space where we don't understand. Our meat does not grow on the shelf where we pick it up at in the grocery store. And I think we're missing part of what it means to live. Not being involved in portions of that process, or at least understanding it.
I would like to shout out to one of our first listeners, watchers, subscribers, whatever you want to call them, Katie. She says, happy to hear all is right in the world and beef is still is what's for dinner. Love it. Thank you, Katie. Great show.
That's awesome, Katie. Thanks for joining. I'd love to grow this to a point where we have 100 people and people are doing inappropriate things and we're having to chase it down and shut them down. But thank you, Katie, for being the first person to jump in. And I know the streams, you have to click a link, will probably cause some people to shy away. They think we're going to be there to fix it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow it. We love it. We love what we're doing here. And part of this is to tell the story, Jeff. I don't think, the story of what Highland cattle are to the Scottish people, and I don't know of any other way to tell that than have somebody like you on the podcast, where we can learn, and then we start thinking about, well, what did this mean to the Scottish folk, to the Celtic folk, to anyone on these breeds? And I know it's in history, but what did this mean to those folks? And we're learning that they were part of the family and part of the culture, and I'm gonna stop.
No, this is a perfect segue. I was like, perfect segue
to the Jura 12.
While you're doing the Jura 12,
Segue to
I'm gonna start Jeff on this question here. Heritage and games connection. So there's something special about the Highland cattle that just fits with the games. The strength, the resilience, the beauty, endurance. When you hear Highland Strong,
it is black.
I did. Can you not see it?
Oh God!
Edit that.
Highland Strong. Wait, did I give you that? I think I gave you that, Ryan. No?
Yeah.
What's that?
Exactly.
Didn't I give you that? Highland Strong? I don't know.
Maybe. When you hear Highland Strong, Jeff, what does that phrase mean to you?
Oh yeah. No, listen, I think that as I mentioned earlier, I think one of the best ways to think about a Highland is you think about a mountain man, it's someone that can endure, that goes into the storm, not that there aren't other breeds, obviously, that are also hardy, but I don't know. I think that just Highlands personified not only being hardy, but they look the part too, right? Like our cattle, I'm more concerned about heat and providing shade than I am concerned about cold and wind. Um, they just are survivors and they're smart. The other thing about them that I think about when I think about Highland Strong, it's a herd, right? So, or it's a fold. Um, we were concerned about coyotes. We have coyotes here in Southern Illinois. We have a whole bunch of them. It's bobcats too,
right?
But yeah, we have a lot of coyotes. And we initially got some donkeys.
Sorry, Jeff.
Sorry, Chase just opened the Jura. He hates peated whiskeys. No, I'm so sorry to interrupt, my man.
So
Coyotes.
you had monkeys.
Guy, these donkeys.
So-
My dumb ass laughing. I'm sorry.
So we put some mini donkeys in with the cattle because they were supposed to help. You know, they would run after the dog or the coyote. What we found is they go the other way. They run from them, and the Highlands run to it. So uh, I'll tell you, if a dog or coyote get in the field, they'll either just stand there and watch them go by, or if they feel that threat, the whole herd will go. So they're very protective, you know, and all of the cows, it doesn't matter who has calves. We have, you know, lots of calves running around that belong to particular cows. You'll see one cow babysitting all the calves. You'll see, you know, they'll trade off. Sometimes we'll see nursing or cross moms as well, which is really interesting. So I think when I think about a Highland Strong, I think about not only the stature and the nature of the animal itself, but also the way that it interacts in its you know fold and the relationships that they have. They're so intelligent, and the dynamic and the personalities and the hierarchy and all of that in the fold, I think, kind of plays into their overall strength. And I think that's why, you know, part of the longevity, um, and just their, you know, their ability to survive and thrive in a variety of different types of environments. And then when you add all that together, that they're awesome beef, it's higher in protein, the omega-3 6 mix is better, it's better in iron. It's the cleanest, leanest piece of beef you're going to have out of the most awesome breed, I think, that's out there in the cattle world.
Well, you just gave me a great little segue. You talked about like cross nursing, which is really awesome, and how they'll come together as a community. And I know personally that Ryan uh, really pushes the Highland community here, and that's why he wanted to bring the Tallahassee Highland Games.
Wait. How is bringing the Highland Games back?
I was trying to make a sweet connection that the cows will come together as a community, and cross nursing is kind of rare. I mean, it's not very usual. You'll see it in certain instances, but in this instance, what Jeff was saying was they'll come together, and whatever they're lacking, the community will make up. And I really think that is what you were trying to achieve by bringing the
Yeah.
Tallahassee Highland Games, is to show that the Scottish community is still strong in America, and especially Tallahassee. So,
Sure, that we're trying. I mean, you know how hard it is being one of the first people in, really. As well as some of our other things, you have to take time away because we know how much it takes. We just had someone step down in the role because they were like all in, and then said it was too much. And I get it, I really do. I think it does anything. You better love what you do. Now, and for me, community has always been a part of how I was raised, and not saying come out to the games and, you know, co-nurse or community nurse. Look, you know, if you nurse in public, there's no problem with that, but we don't provide that. Otherwise, you know, I think we've got a really good thing brewing. We're actually, I'm going to go and say it live. I know we've got one person listening live.
yeah.
We're going to now be the World Championship. We're going to be bringing in the Women's Masters World's Strongest Stoneman.
Which was impressive.
Women over 40, we're going to be putting up the $2,500 prize.
Nice.
Then we're doing men's. The men's are going to be national. But we're trying to grow this thing a little bit. So, you know, Jeff, it takes partnerships like this. You know, you guys are driving all the way from Illinois to bring yarn flow food, but you got to tell us about a minute.
Yeah.
But
That was
like,
the next question.
you guys obviously love what you're doing. You can say it like that dedication. You go, hey, we're going to come, we're going to camp, we're going to take care of the boys. You know, you guys clearly love what you're doing. We're excited to have y'all. Thank you, because that helps us grow this thing. It's really cool to make these kind of connections and build community, meeting folks like you. And we're rambling now. Looking forward to having you.
Yeah, so this is a great segue. So when you're set up at the Tallahassee Highland Games this February
Yeah.
7th and 8th, 2026, what do you hope people take away from meeting you and seeing these animals up
I need
there?
to stop because I have a question. Really ramble.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We got a question. I'm going to come back to this.
Yeah, well, you have a script and you're not even using it at all.
No, I'm using it. We're hitting components of it naturally.
Big section.
Jeff, I mean, we talked on the phone 4 hours at least total, maybe more.
Say that one more time.
I was saying we've talked on the phone, I think like at least 4 hours or more already.
Yeah, over multiple calls. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I was like, we should have just recorded all of these and just made it part of the podcast.
Smells like
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
You know, hey,
Okay, so
we're super excited to be at the games. Yeah, hey, had to get a new trailer, or bought a used trailer, but had to get a different trailer so that we could stay with the animals at the games. So I blame Ryan on that, but told him
tell us about the trailer. Your son was telling me about that when I saw him recently.
So hey, we for example, we just hosted a group of kids, high school kids, FFA kids here at our ranch, in partnership with Kubota, who we kind of all in on Kubota equipment, and then H&R AgriPower, which is kind of our overall, we get our Kubota stuff through them, and then they service and support us. It takes an ecosystem, I can tell you that, to do any of this. And we hosted this group of kids along with teachers and such, and they had a great time. They had multiple of them, came up after the fact and wanted to work here, said this is the best trip that they've had, and all we did was basically expose them to the animals and answer their questions and share some information. The American Highland Cattle Association provided, they have some great information. And so we're going to have a lot of that when we are down in Tallahassee. We're going to create some of our own material as well so that we can educate. So we want to basically make folks aware, and then be able to just interact. So to be myself, my wife, hopefully both my son and daughter and their husbands and wives, and just hoping to have some just great interaction to be able to answer questions for folks and really get them to learn more about and appreciate what a true Highland is. And so we'll have we'll have steers. We might do a cow calf pair. It depends on kind of what we have at the time to see if that makes sense. But we're kind of working with the steers that we have, and they'll be a little over a year, or maybe right at a year old. So they'll be pretty decent size. They'll grow till 3-ish or more. So they won't be full size, but they certainly won't, they'll be naturally sized for the age that they're at. So super excited about it. Can't wait to come down to Tallahassee.
Kind of a similar spot previous year, just out of curiosity.
I don't know. That's something we're going to figure out.
Okay.
So, we've had cute, fluffy, petable cows before too. That interestingly enough, like I'm really looking forward, obviously, just to meet you guys, but I'm really interested to see them because the pictures you can see the difference in how they look, build, the structure, and some of these other things. So, if we have that other ready out again, we know that's a petting experience. It's a fun thing for the kids. I don't think anybody's going to complain about having extra Highland cows, right? So maybe we're the first Highland Games to have 2 sets of Highland cow experiences.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking about all the crab apples that fall over there.
Oh yeah. There's a couple spots if you want, we can put you. There's a ton of crab apples that fall from one, and then there's a kumquats, I think.
Yeah, they're kumquats,
which made an amazing old fashioned.
Oh, you just steal a bunch of them to make old fashioned?
Yeah, I went out and grabbed some, got chased away by some bees or hornets or something, who were upset that I was messing with their tree. But just really tart kumquats. So we can put them over there if they want some snacks.
Mandarin or
No, they're sweet. Mandarins are bigger. Those are little kumquats.
should we sample the Jura deer piss?
It's not that bad.
I don't know if you ever been there. This smells like Tank 69 is what we put on ourselves when we're going out and the bucks are in rut. This is exactly what Tank 69 smells like.
This smells amazing.
It smells amazing in the rum taste. The roast glass. That is straight deer.
Okay, so half a second. Did you get the pine scent?
Yeah.
The first one?
Yeah.
Because I didn't get it until the aftertaste, and we were chatting and listening, and
Nettles.
suddenly it's the pine needles.
Yeah.
Really, that kind of like, did somebody just mop the floor with some pine saw?
Pine saw and deer urine.
Oh, really? That's what the experience.
Cheers.
Yeah, that's really weird at a rum taster.
It is. I actually like it more out of the rum
I
taster.
do not like it.
It definitely muddles the peat. Because this to me is, you guys call this mild peat. I would say this is medium to moderately peaty.
That bad?
What does the bottle say?
I don't like it.
That's
I really don't like it at the rum taster. Like,
Here is what the
it's
bottles.
in and of itself. It's
A rich, rounded balance of subtle smoky notes with a sweet sherry cask finish. Now, those you know that listen up, I love a good Oloroso sherry finish.
some of that's the sherry for me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I was surprised with the what was the one that we had with Danny recently?
We got a McGregor.
Yeah. Jeff, never buy McGregor. Never buy
No.
McGregor Scotch. It's in
No.
plastic bottle. There's a reason for it.
Here is what it says on the
That does
back.
not sound good.
A rich, rounded balance of subtle smoky notes with a sweet sherry cask finish, golden hued in color with a refined combination of succulent tropical aromas, chocolate, walnut, and citrus fruit, followed by coffee, licorice, salted bananas. Hell's eating a salted banana
It's salted bananas are delicious.
and brown sugar with a whisper of smoke. Oh, that's bullshit. A whisper of smoke.
It's not that smoky.
This guy.
It's not that smoky.
Like you can take that strong arm back down because it is a whisk. So okay, I'm sorry, y'all remember you a tangent. I love a tangent.
Here we go.
Have y'all ever had a banana mayonnaise sandwich,
I have seen someone eat it, but I have not. No.
Kevin?
Bite me. What the heck is wrong with you?
Okay, Jeff.
No.
Jeff is like, what am I doing with these guys? So it's a southern thing,
That's all good.
right?
Tomato and mayo is southern.
Both so it's
Banana and mayo is
my
like
Jack
Jamaican.
from Alabama and moved to Florida. It's a southern thing. So I don't know how many people do this, but like I grew up on occasion in the summer, you would eat a banana mayonnaise sandwich. Probably the whitest dude thing you can do on earth. And they're disgustingly grossly good. And I mentioned it the other day to my wife, and she was just like, "Look."
Yeah. Now,
I mean, okay.
just
So,
white bread too.
Yeah, oh yeah, like you're not even toasting it.
Sticks to your mouth.
Like, yeah, just the mastication experience there is
so,
not good.
so I will have to try it because here's the thing. I had a short stint at this wonderful place on earth called Disney, which felt like a prison sentence. But I worked there for about 8 months, and the European crowd would come through and constantly ask for mayonnaise.
That's all.
That was my reaction to. And one night I finally broke down. It is so much better than you think it is. I don't know why, but it is really good. So I will give it a shot. I'll actually
Are we doing banana make for sale?
I guess we'll
On the next console.
with maybe with some screwball behind you.
That's the best.
Screwball.
My brother's Scotch that he bought me.
Well,
In Iceland, they don't do mayo; they do a remoulade. Remoulade and Pilsener mustard. Oh, to me, the Icelandic hot dog is the best hot dog on the planet. I've had the Chicago dog, I've had the New York dogs. The Icelandic dog, not only the way they present it in presentation, but it is 100% lamb. So you're having a hot dog that is 100% lamb with crispy onion, fresh onions, remoulade, mustard, and a perfect bun.
Didn't you shut up because my travel budget is zero.
I know. Man,
Time for Iceland, right?
I'm gonna make your day. Make your day. I have a friend. He ships me Icelandic hot dogs. It has remoulade and the mustard in my fridge right now.
God,
He has a guy for everything.
I have a guy.
That's another thing.
Between the two of us, we have a guy for every.
Three of us.
So now we have a guy for
Yes.
right in the Highlands of the United States, and a guy.
For Icelandic hot dogs. I'm telling you, I'm going to order some, and we're going to have them. You guys are going to,
Lamb and just
yes.
I'm hoping. So I'm hoping, right? Like today, we're in a meeting. I'm talking to an engineer who's we're trying to understand this issue for something we're standing up, and she's like, "Well, I don't know if this can do it." I'm like, "Call the VP now." And she's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. That's just like." I know some of these folks. I can just call them right now and we can get an answer. That's you too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like I am hoping somebody soon instead of a technical need is like, man, what did I say to the hot dog? It's like, got you, bro. So like I hope this happens in the middle of like a high level cybersecurity incident. You know, it's what is like Mike, I could kill for an Icelandic hot dog. And I'm like, I got you.
Very brief tangent. I've been to Iceland twice. The second time I went, I'm walking down the street and it's dark because we went after Christmas, so there's only like 3 or 4 hours of daylight. Walking down the street and I'm looking at the architecture, I'm looking at the sky and everything, and I just happened to bump into this human who was
Human.
3.5 feet taller than me.
I was gonna say, did you bump into the human's thigh?
Yeah, I bumped into this guy and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I looked where a normal human's eye line would be, and I was looking at his nipples. And it is the mountain. It is
Thor.
It is Thor, and he was so nice. Oh, I'm so. Oh no. Okay. And he had this tiny little wife with him. He was super nice. And this was, December 27th, so it was brutally cold. And he was, in his little jacket and stuff. And we're all bundled
What
up.
year was this?
This was 2017.
He wasn't with her at that time.
No, he was. He was. Don't throw him in.
It is so crazy how she actually is, though.
Oh my God.
If you look at them segments, I'm not asking any questions. Good for y'all. Good luck, folks.
Like, I would kind of make her look tiny. She
is tiny.
But no, they were great people. I love Iceland. I will go back. My buddy Unar, shout out to Unar. He's the one me out whenever I go there. Great dude.
Jeff, you seen Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
are you familiar with Hafthor Bjornsson?
Yeah. A little bit.
Not now.
Yeah, he's the huge guy that pops. What's the dude's?
He's I know.
Yeah, but he pops the guy's eyeballs too. Who has the scar.
Yeah.
No. Not
Yeah.
What's his name? Wasn't that the guy that did?
I don't know.
it's Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
I don't know his name in the movie, but I know it's Pedro
Pedro
Pascal.
Pascal.
He was a Persian.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a Persian?
Yeah.
And his wife or daughter or sister or whatever he was sleeping with. Anyway, that's way too much of a tangent. Let's do the Jura out of the.
Jura, so I can actually have.
Yes, let's do it. Here we go. 'Cause I'm ready for that one.
So I brought one that we didn't ship to Jeff because it's kind of rare to get. I did bring an orphan barrel woven honor. It's a 18-year Highland. So we're gonna give it a shot. And I apologize to Jeff for not taking it up. But if we have any left when you come down, I will make sure you get some.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jeff, you guys are doing. We're super fit, super clean eating and drinking thing right now, right?
Yeah. We'll be done with that by the time the Tallahassee Games come up. So
There you go.
So you're going to be yoked and ready to try some stones, right?
that's right. I'll be ready.
All right. So, do you train or work out besides lifting bulls, just moving them casually?
Yeah, I don't. No lifting bulls. Yeah, we have we have a gym. The pole barn is set up as a gym. We lift. Not as consistent as we used to, but we're rededicating, getting back into it. So, but yeah, lift heavy things and set them down.
So I want to challenge you then to see what, obviously safely, but the heaviest stone you can lift when you come to Tallahassee.
Oh wow.
What do you think?
Oh, I don't know.
Sure.
Okay, think about it.
Yeah, think about it.
We've got
I
stones
have-
ranging from
I have two
45 pounds
sons
to
now.
440.
I have two sons that are going to be right in front of me on that. So
Wow, man. Come
I
on,
will
you gotta show 'em that
absolutely
dad
volunteer
power.
them for that for sure. For sure.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, my my 79, almost 80-year-old mother who's works this ranch with us that she's got some strength to her. I'll tell you. Absolutely.
I think that was a revelation to Ryan there.
No, like that's so when I was in Southeast Asia, last day there, I'm walking around actually, we traveled all around Southeast Asia, Thailand, Bangkok, a couple other places. Yeah, last day there was in Bangkok. And there was this woman, she was clearly 80s or 90s. She's walking like this. Like this is her upper body. She's bent at a 90-degree angle. Is that a 90-degree angle?
Close enough.
So she's walking fully bent over at an auto parts shop, and she is pulling this rolling show that is loaded with auto parts. It's clearly for scooters and bikes and stuff. But I just thought to myself, I'm like, you're not going to see that in the U.S.
Oh God, no.
You're not going to see that in the U.S. We're going to be on some sort of support or disability and I'm not knocking folks to have that, but like that was a shock to me. I have not seen that in the U.S. in 30 years or more, and I am old enough to say that. What does your mom do on a farm?
She pretty much does everything. So just
Dang.
day-to-day stuff. But there's a lot of projects. There's project to project. So we're fencing. We're pounding fence posts, and she's right in there with us. So I use machines to do the pounding, but you got to lift the post, hold it. Cold, doesn't matter what the weather is. We got to get it done. We're trenching for our waters. Hay bales. Square bales. Both hay and straw. Straw's a lot lighter, but the hay square bales can get quite heavy. She's nonstop.
Well,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. She loves it. So I think that's kind of our overall part of our plan is as we look to this next bit of life. To have something that's going to keep us active, right? So and you don't really get a day off, right? So we did, we can leave though. My daughter got married in Tampa just a few months ago, or in October, early October, and we were down there for about 7 days or so. I think there was 4 or 5 days that the ranch was unattended, other than neighbors watching. Making sure there's not a calf outside the fence or something like that. But we have auto waterers, loaded, obviously it's all pasture fed, and then we loaded up some hay as well to make sure they were good, and they're good.
Jeff,
So
you feed them alfalfa?
we have, I don't buy alfalfa hay. We have found that Bermuda works a little better.
Oh,
I'm not an expert in hay, but my hay guy is. And when you look at the total digestible nutrient that the animal gets, I think Bermuda, which is easier to grow here. I mean, there's alfalfa here too, but it's pretty much horse guys are doing the alfalfa thing. I mean, I think we get a little bit in some of the mix, but Bermuda drives a lot of our protein, and some other grasses as well. So it's a mix.
So we now have a Bermuda grass guy.
ta-ding. All right, boys. Okay, so we are about to sample something, and thank you, Kevin, for bringing this. This is an orphan barrel, and for those of you who have seen our other episodes, we have done a few orphan barrels. This one is Woven Honor, aged 18 years. And would you like me to read the thing? What? Hailing from the pristine landscape of the Scottish Highlands, this rare 18-year-old single-malt Scotch whiskey, aged in American oak, honors the storied history of the Linkwood Distillery, founded in 1821. The web of Woven Honor weaves together the essence of Scotland with its rolling fields of wildflowers to its tranquil streams, a perfect setting to admire nature's gifts. This smooth, medium-bodied Scotch whiskey greets us with grassy and floral notes, a fruity melody of green apple and lemon zest alongside vanilla and honeycomb, with a flavor and aroma light as silk. Woven honor invokes the freshness of the spring. I'm really excited to try this.
Wonderful.
Fun about shit I haven't swirled yet.
Come in.
That knows that you're doing the Glen Karen. Okay, here we go.
The what?
Glen Karen. Here we go.
What?
Oh, the nose on that is outstanding.
Am I the only one that gets anise?
No, it's hidden under the caramel. Oh,
No, there's some anise.
There is anise, but I get a lot of apple up front.
the crisp green apple.
Mhm. It's like an apple with some anise, and
I definitely get the lemon.
Jeff, we're gonna have to ship you a sampler of this.
No, like I said, I'm taking that
Oh,
bottle home with me,
Yeah, fair enough. Bring it to the game,
and I'll bring it to the game.
The
Grab
games.
the games
Yeah,
for
yeah,
it
that
out
works.
there.
It's a dram.
especially if it's
That'd
cold.
be great.
We'll
I will personally drive it out to you to make sure you get a dram. I will fight people off on
That's
this
awesome.
one.
It's almost an allspice, the anise and allspice.
yeah.
It's warming.
All right, Slanjavad, gentlemen. Love you
Straight.
guys. Thank you, Jeff, for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. That's a lot warmer than I expected.
That is a great warming feeling. It's not overwhelming.
I mean, the first thing is smooth.
Yes.
It's warming, but it's not
It's not
overpowering.
burning.
Yeah.
It's warming. It's warm on the mouth. This is something you could. What is it? 65 outside right now.
Another 5-10 degrees colder outside for me, and this and a cigar.
Oh yeah.
And I am just,
First of all, it's closed, not mouth coating.
yep,
It's quick,
it is.
but gosh,
You know, I think I remember that actually when we're looking at Castle's Curse.
Yeah,
yeah.
That one was quick too.
that was a 12-year thing.
I think it was the 12 year. And after listening to that podcast, because that was with Francis,
Yes.
I want to try it again.
Yeah.
Like I want to try it again when Francis is here. Try to get him. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him this year.
We may need to get another bottle.
Are you kidding me? Another bottle of rare crap that you can't buy again.
You can.
Yeah,
It's available.
eBay. What, $500?
No,
1200?
it's sitting up at It's
Oh, don't say where. No, they have one at
uh-huh.
bigboxstore.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They had one of these. They had like one or two of those.
All right.
Well,
I
I'm
have
gonna
saved
give a
this
shout out to
last
Market Square Liquors here in
piece.
Tallahassee for
save this last piece for this.
hooking us up with a lot of these. They actually, so the Jura. Jeff, what were your thoughts on the Jura? I know you said you were hesitant.
It was. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed both of them. I didn't think that I would on the jury, but I really did. So
What's your go-to like
I-
Scotch or bourbon?
I had pretty simple over here. So, double oaked Woodford is kind of just more of a staple.
That's a great bourbon though.
I mean, it is like
That is a great day-to-day bourbon.
we're really not snobs over here. We've got some of the podcasts, like our favorite one, I think for Kevin and I, one time was an $18 bottom shelf Sexton. Actually.
No, that wasn't the Sexton.
Oh, yeah.
Me and you
No,
like
it was the Sexton. You and I, no,
Me and you like the Sexton.
I did not like the
He's
Sexton.
fine.
Oh, that's right.
That was horrible.
It
to
was
my flavor.
amazing.
The Loch Lomond.
Oh, man.
Loch Lomond. We have Dimple Pinch, which was another bottom shelf.
Another bottom shelf.
Yeah.
Good.
We had
Screwball. Yeah, baby.
No joke. Jeff, have you ever had Screwball?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, dude.
Peanut butter whiskey.
It's actually really good, and I hate to admit that.
So we had probably our 7th or 8th, maybe 5th podcast we actually recorded. We had Francis Brebner. He's 7-time world caber champion, president of the International Highland Games Federation. And we had him on, just got this amazing Scottish accent that even if you don't speak a good Scottish accent, just being around him for 20 minutes, you pick it up. Chase wanted him to read bedtime stories to him. And he didn't drink whiskey, and so we ended up getting it was this brand, Orphan Barrel,
The Castle's
the
Curse.
Castle's Curse. But he likes True Ball. And I honestly, I felt like I was doing something super inappropriate while I was at the liquor store buying this bottle of Screwball because it was cheap, sweet. Yeah, actually, I didn't even know what to expect from it. But it's a peanut butter whiskey liqueur.
We were worried it's going to be super artificial, and the fact that it literally says contains peanuts helps me. You said it was like they created a peanut filter.
I mean, it tasted like it. There was so much peanut flavor. It was crazy.
Peanut butter slack. What you said?
Peanut butter slack.
Love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, we're not pinky up here. You know, I know the Redbreast is a little more expensive. The Jura was a good price point. I really like this Jura, but let's come back
Yes.
to the I guess to the Woman Otter.
I gotta get it out of the rum taster here, boys. So
This is
that I'm eager to see what it's going to do to it in the rum taster. All right.
this is such an interesting note compared to cold outside. You know, normally you would want something thick, but with this being so light and warm,
You're gonna laugh when I tell you what it smells like.
Just want to know.
Hot Cheetos.
I believe it.
Pick up the rum taster. I've got Jura and oh my god.
You're gonna have to pass that around.
It literally smells like a puffed Cheeto. Am I wrong?
What's going on with the rum taster tonight? I do
Dude,
not like the.
And I rinsed that. I rinsed that after the Jura. Like a puff. Like a puff Cheeto. That's insane. What's the flavor? Don't tell me. I want to try it.
Okay.
Throw it here.
Is it not puff Cheeto?
It is not puff Cheeto. I will say.
It's walnuts and caramel. Now, here we go. Hold on. Dude. Are you the vanilla and the caramel when you open your mouth?
Oh yeah,
Caramel or caramel?
caramel.
Caramel?
We're spice. It's spicier.
Way spicier. Clean your, there you go. Clean that out. I gave you some water to rinse if you need to. This is outstanding.
I am so glad I picked this bottle up.
What is the price point on this one? 90? 130?
189.
You see, I didn't take a lot. Don't think it's a lot.
No, you're fine.
Let me get it.
Nope.
Let me get it now.
No, you can get it. That's why I bought it. I bought it specifically for the podcast. You throw that, I will break you.
So, like, Jeff, the listeners have heard the story, so I'll keep it short. Never thought I would want to spend this kind of money on a bottle in my life, to be honest. I was always like, all right, you people are crazy. And then Kevin's fault. We were at a conference one day, go up to the happy hour across the street, the stairs, whatever. And there's this orphan barrel. And so this company takes defunct distilleries, people that are closed down, and they'll take their barrels, usually empty. Sometimes they find barrels that still have whiskey in it. And so it's stuff you'll never get again. You know, it's somebody's recipe. Everybody kind of has a way they season their
Still.
made, and they're still in. So this company picks those up and they make sometimes rarely straight ones, but they usually make a blend out of it. But it's something you'll never get in your life again because you can't duplicate this thing. And we had one of those glasses, and I spent 45 minutes just with my nose in it, acting like an idiot, going, where can I buy this bottle? I don't care if it's $180.
I called, I think, 2 or 3 different stores that night, and nobody had it.
And we were chasing it for a month until we found out one of the distributors locally had a ton of them in stock, and it was probably because we bugged them so much.
Yeah, I think we bought out their supply. So it's called Fable and Folly,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'll make sure you get some of that too.
Yes.
It's a bourbon. That is a bourbon, and it is some of the last Sitzer Weller bourbons. So Weller is its own thing now, right? So it's when
Yeah.
Sitzer and Weller were combined company. And so it's some of the last barrels of that. And so they're incredibly hard to find, and it's just so good. And I've got an open bottle that I do not mind sharing a little bit.
So for those that are tuned in and watching, and for those that aren't, you can see it. But we've got this little thing here that I'm gonna make. I'm gonna customize it a little bit and add some whiskey and some Scotch tastings to
Is
it.
this ours?
This is not ours. This is from, thankfully, hopefully a soon-to-be sponsor, the St. Augustine Distillery.
So we-
When I was there, the St. Augustine Distillery, they gave me this, and we said spicy. And when you have the spicy column, you get aromatic or earthy. And this one to me is more aromatic. So with aromatic, we get clove, black pepper, licorice, mint. But out, I just got it in my mustache.
Yeah.
I love it. Out of the rocks glass, I'm getting much of the spice, a lot of the spice, some of the aromatic, clove, like we talked about the allspice, and it is literally dripping down my mustache. I love it.
Well, it's interesting to me. It's usually when we're saying apple, green apple. It's like a tart green apple. It's not always approachable, but this is.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of undertones. Like if we were going to talk about, thank God we have video, right? If we're going to talk about scales of taste.
Yep.
You know, if most whiskeys we taste are kind of having spread of a certain distance, this one feels really good, but somehow it's still really light and refreshing, which I'm only used to that in a really heavy flavor.
Try it out of the rum. I know you're doing the rum taster, but rocks glass elongates the spice, black pepper, clove, ethanol.
Xanadura.
My beard.
I love it. But no, dude, wow, it is much more mouth coating and lingering out of the rocks glass. And now to me, I like that. I like a little bit of a lingering mouth coating feel because that's like, ooh, you take a sip and it's with you for a while.
Yeah.
And you don't have to keep going back to it because unfortunately that's how you get really jacked up. You drink an entire scotch in 4 minutes because you keep going back to it because it evaporates so fast. With this one, with the rocks glass, neat. It's mouth coating, it's lingering, it's open. You get that spice, clove, aromatic. This, dude, if I see one of these in the store, I'm buying it. Hands down. I don't give a shit what the price tag is.
Buy that bottle of whiskey.
I'm going to tell you where it's at. You need to go pick up the Castle's Curse.
Where is it?
The big box one.
We'll go nab one. Would like to retaste that again. And
You know what?
Jeff,
You
sorry,
may want
but
to.
I want to retaste it again because listening to the podcast and then knowing we've been a year into this,
Yeah.
I was not a huge Scotch fan, whiskey fan 3 years ago. Now I'm loving this stuff and my taste is changing. So I want to try that again. You know, so next time we have Francis on again, I think we're going to have the same challenge.
Yeah.
Right. So same whiskeys. We'll have some screwball for home skillet because he loves it.
Yeah.
And see if we can get the Castle's Curse.
I think you finally grown some chest hair. Now you like Scotch.
What I will say is what you may want to do is go pick Castle's Curse up.
Yes.
Go ahead. One of you just take a couple of drinks out of it so it gets a little bit of oxidation to it.
Yeah, pop it.
So you at least pop the top open, maybe take a little pour,
So
and then let it oxidize a little bit too so it matures. Because I've noticed, at least with the Fable and Folly, the first couple pours out of that bottle are not as good
they're not. It was such
after a week or two. Or now that I've had mine open for a couple months, it's so much better. It actually makes the whiskey better.
It does. And a lot of it is the ethanol that breathes off and moves out of the liquor. So you get a better taste profile. And I was really impressed after we bought 3 of them. Babe, if you're listening, I did not buy 3 or 4. Crap.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
No one in here is on video raising his hand right now. You're on video, dude.
Yeah, my hand's out of frame.
He's stretching. He's stretching.
I bought this many.
No, these are investments. These are assets.
Well, here's the thing, especially with the Fable and Foley, I'm sure in 5 years I could sell one of those bottles, take everything.
Oh, you
plus.
bet your butt.
Oh yeah.
Plus.
Those are going to be $500 and $1,200 bottles in a year or two. And if you give it 15 years, that thing's going to appreciate more than gold.
Yeah, which is insane to me, but
Oh, somebody would spend 15 grand on it. If I was a millionaire, I might do it. I love it. Yeah. So, Jeff, I'm sorry, man. We get really stoked
get off
on
on
this
this.
stuff.
Oh, it's all good. I love
you
listening to
know,
you guys, learning. It's
I
great.
wanted to ask you a question real quick. From your perspective, given how you're coming out to the games, what can we do? Right? What can we do? Whether it's the Highland Games, whether it's our nonprofit, what we're trying to do to keep the culture going, for Scottish, Celtic events, everything that we're just doing. I mean, what can we do to help better show this breed, help raise awareness for it, and keep this very pivotal element, I think, of showing the sturdiness of the Scottish spirit moving, keep it going. And I didn't mean to joke when I said moving and like moving.
Lean into it, brother.
No, I,
Lean
I,
into
I
it.
love that. Love that thought process. That's a great. I'm not sure, but I would love to brainstorm on that and think about that and find a way. I think that there's an organization out there that around at least the American Highland Cattle Association that really has some we're just one of, right, and there's some folks that have been at this for a lot longer that know a lot more about it, and I think that there's just generally not an awareness of Highland cattle, and then how that kind of ties back into you know being an ancient breed and being tracked back to the 6th century. We send the DNA out of our breeders and bulls, well, out of our calves, but to UC Davis in California, for DNA testing and verification of who the sire and dam is for that calf. And it's traced all the way. You can follow that lineage back. So you think about kind of this combination of modern day unawareness, but this ancient tie-in, back to Scotland. It's just really cool, and so I think just awareness of it, and would love to put some thought into it, and maybe brainstorm. Love to
Well,
talk to folks when we're there at the games and see their thoughts and such. But I think getting away from this whole concept of it just being a pet. That doesn't mean that you can't have Highlands as pets. You certainly can, but just an appreciation for the breed, and that its true purpose is for beef. I think is the biggest message.
so yeah, let's definitely brainstorm. Maybe can you hook us up with, or there's some folks at you said it's ACHA.
AHCA, yeah, American Highland Cattle Association.
AHCA.
Yes,
Sorry, there's a state agency that has the same acronym.
yeah.
So that throws me off there. Yeah, is there anybody there we could talk to? I'd love to have them on the podcast. It'd probably be early next year. We could have you and some other folks on. I think that'd be really cool because it's like I said, I genuinely wrestle with whether I wanted to eat some of this beef or not. I've hunted, right? I don't like killing animals. I hunt to protect my family, feed my family. But it's not the kind of thing I grew up around. And I wrestled with eating this, and here I am. I love it, but it gives me a new respect, right? How, if I was in your, I'm trying to think, like, if I was in your space, how would I treat these animals? How would I raise them? Would I give them reverence and dignity and love, knowing why they're there, or that they may never
Yeah.
go that So I love what you guys are doing. Let's keep brainstorming. Let's keep talking. We'll do what we can.
Like what Jeff said is what you put in is what you're going to get out.
Mhm.
And him and his family put in absolute utmost love, and they give it back to him. I did have maybe two, maybe three quick, brief questions. And I think it's a great way to end the podcast. Who are your favorite Highland cows? What are their names, and why are they your favorite?
Well,
Dang, that
that's going to be,
are the
different
cows
answers.
listening?
Different answers. They probably are. So, our bulls, we are Everett. So he's the reason we got into this thing. We went looking at those heifers, and walked away with a bull and some cows. He was kind of following me when we were trying to move around, and I don't know. It just instinct and fate, I guess. I'm not sure how all that comes together, but he's by far the favorite. There's been, we have calved and sold, and many that are very memorable. Jack and Diane, song Jack and Diane.
I
So
love
we,
it.
we sold Jack and Diane to our vet. Actually, our vet has purchased, I think, 3 or 4 Highlands from us, and our first
You,
two, which is really cool.
do me a favor, Jeff. Well, my favorite movie of all time is Tombstone, and my friends, some of my very close friends, call me Wyatt Earp, and I call one of my best friends Doc Holliday. So the next time you get some bulls, do Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday for me, please.
All right, I like that. I like that.
I think that'd be
I like
awesome.
that.
Shoot, Wider. Help you, Wider. None of us sitting here.
I guess
My friends outside of this group.
your other besties outside of these.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
Cheers me, you jackass.
I love you, bro.
Love you too.
Well, Jeff, I think that's a great way to end it. Can you one more time? One more time. Just give us your website and where we can get more info from you. And just give us that kind of info again. Any social media stuff that you'd like to share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will be buying some meat because this is
Awesome.
outstanding.
That's awesome. Dakota Ranch Highlands. So DakotaRanchHighlands.com, Dakota Ranch Highlands Instagram, Facebook. It's all the same, all consistent. You go to the website and go into the social media. And as Ryan mentioned, all the pictures and such on social media. There's some on the website, but there's a lot more, especially on Instagram that Tanya's done. So that just go there, and the phone numbers are out there, and or info@DakotaRanchHighlands.com.
All right, Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And,
Can you cows?
Thanks for
can you
having
guys
me.
start a store
You
so I
guys
can
are awesome.
order these images of the cows? Dude, seriously, the photos y'all have on your social media.
Yeah.
Incredible. And we know a handful of folks who do great jobs, but man, those pictures are great.
The composition, the foreground, midground, background, everything is just.
Chase is a photographer, digital artist.
Yeah.
He speaks
I-
4 languages.
Oh, are you
Yeah.
really?
Your wife.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
your wife.
he's a polyathlete.
Yeah,
for sure.
So this guy, I don't know if you left this over here last time we were right. All right, Jeff. Thank you for being
thank
here.
you so much.
We will be in touch.
All right,
Take
guys.
care. Scots on Scotch out, baby.